Happy Sunday, loves. I just made some tea, so it is piping hot. So I have to give it a couple seconds. Look who's on. It's my beautiful sister. All right, now we have to hope that Time Warner cable does not play around with me today because it's been acting sketchy. How's your Sunday going? Hopefully some people are able to jump on because I know a lot of people go to church during this time, but we're going to still show up regardless. I'm going to go ahead and hit the paper plane and invite some other people into the room. So I'll do that. Sis, I hope you find some time to get some rest on today, because this weekend has been relatively hectic. Okay, hopefully Charlotte hops on soon. Voila, she's here. Hi, Charlotte. Hey, Shamir, good morning.
Hey.
Hi. Good
I'm
morning.
doing well.
How
I'm
are
doing
you?
very well. Yesterday was pretty busy, so
That's good.
I took this morning, have some time with myself, so I'm good. I'm ready to go.
Yes. Listen, I woke up this morning, I was just laying in bed, and I was like, I really need to get up and get moving. I have stuff to do, but I was like, you know what? Let me just be still for a minute, and I'll double back in like an hour, then I'm going to get up, because you really need that time in the morning to be like, all right, instead of going through my laundry list of to-dos, let me just chill and take in the moment to be like, okay, it's all right.
Yeah.
It's okay not to jump out of bed like, oh my God, let me get started with the day. No, let me just chill for a minute. So I wanted to take some time this morning, maybe some tea, so now we can jump right in. Of course, I want to welcome everyone in that is joining our live. We are glad that you are here. Charlotte, I'm going to give you the floor so you can introduce yourself and tell everyone a little bit about yourself. What you do, how you're showing up in the world, and all of that good stuff.
Hi everyone, I'm Charlotte Louis. I am the owner and founder of the Center Me House, where we create a clear and easily accessible path to emotional wellness and stress relief for Black women in America. I am a self-love coach, and I absolutely love what I do. We teach classes, workshops. We also plan retreats for Black women who are looking to have community and sisterhood and a deeper connection with themselves. I had a friend tell me yesterday, this is giving very much soft life, and I'm for it, whatever.
Listen, I'm here for it.
whatever they're calling it today.
Definitely here for all of that.
For it, if it means prioritizing yourself and making sure that you are existing in this life whole and balanced, I'm here for it. Yeah, in a nutshell, that's what we do. And so I'm really just honored to be in this space where I'm serving my sisters in this way.
Yes. Which is so amazing. Shamir said to sit in that still time is so clutch, which it really is. And I'm learning this, because before I would have been like, no, you got to get up. But now I'm just like, no. You might need to sit here for a minute and just not answer the phone.
For me, I don't know how to start my day any other way anymore. Like, that's why I was just like, okay, I have until 11. How much of me can I put in? How much of me can I put into the day before 11 gets here? And I'm talking about meditation. Meditation hits so different when you don't have to get the kids up and get them ready. Like when there's nothing that you have to do really afterwards because they're gone this weekend. And I'm just like, oh, I get to meditate however long I want. Okay. So I did meditation. After that, I did my gratitude prayer. After that, I did some journaling, just reflecting on yesterday and where I am emotionally, mentally right now. Hopped in the shower, put my head up under the faucet, the shower head, however you want to and just stood there and took in the moment, you know, just been breathing, you know, and it's just like, you know, I feel like for me, if I want the best out of myself, I have to be able to pour the best into myself.
Yeah.
So it's not just about.
Somebody might want to put that. Somebody might want to write that in the comments, okay? So I can pin that. So someone else that's doing it late can really get that. So Charlotte, say that one more time.
Okay, right. No, if I want the best out of myself, I have to be willing to pour the best into myself. And so I take that very seriously, especially when your expression, you know, really does matter to you, when your creativity matters to you, when the way that you show up for yourself in the world, the relationships in your life, they matter. You have to position yourself to know that the only way that they work is if the relationship that you have with yourself is working. And so for me, it's important.
Thanks, Shamir. Look, Shamir dropped it in there because I was over here writing real fast with my notebook. Like,
yes.
Because that's gonna be a caption later on.
Because it's just like, you know, for me, I just I know what I'm like. I think we've had a conversation like this before. Like I know what I'm like when I'm running on E. I know what my symptoms are. I know, you know, what type of work comes from me, and it's less than you know, excellence. And for me, that's all that comes from me. And so like if I'm not taking care of myself, then I can't possibly show up in the way that I want to for others. And the work that I do literally makes me feel like I have to make the Center Me House members, my audience, the people that I come into contact with, I have to be able to show them in real time, this is what happens when you pour into yourself. You know what I mean? Like this is what emotional wellness looks like. This is what stress relief feels like and looks like. So if I'm not doing it myself, how can I present that to the women that I'm catering to, that I'm serving? And so it's just, I mean, honestly, I have the best job ever because it requires me to take care of myself.
Yeah. I have the best job ever, okay? Not to mention, I created it myself. So it's even more the greatest job in the whole wide world. Like, I don't report to nobody but me, okay? You're like, let's be clear, okay? I created this job, right? I created this lifestyle. Because when you love what you do, it's not really a job, right? It's something that you're passionate about that you can show up effortlessly in, right? Where you balance yourself to figure out, okay, first, let me show up for myself. Wait, this feels great. Let me share this with other women so that they know that this is normal. Like, let me share the wealth. And Shamir left a comment in the chat. She said, self-love, I can see the joy in your face. Like, you can, right? When looking at you, you can be like, I don't know what Charlotte is doing, but I need some of that. Let me get some of that energy. I need all that energy because, boy, day to day, I'd be like, Charlotte ain't posting that motivational on her Instagram yet for me to share and like. Like, what is Charlotte up to this week? I need some inspiration over here.
I took some steps back from social media. Like, I'll post in my story because I feel like it's a story. You know, I can post something real quick, you know, but I just found that the women that I'm looking for are not always on social media. And if they are, they're not looking for what it is that I'm trying to serve them with. It's more so like, you know, just from my experience when I'm reaching out to these different organizations and whatnot, it's really hard to get in touch with these women. And so for me, right, so I wasn't going to wait on someone to just so happen to see something on social media. I decided to switch gears and start like being a little bit more proactive about how I'm reaching my target audience. And so that's what I was just like, okay, yeah, this definitely makes sense, you know, moving towards like email marketing.
And you know what is
you're fine.
Interesting, not to cut you off, Charlotte, but I identify with that, right? Because when 2023 rolled in, I was like, listen, 2022 was okay, right? I was getting clients, but as an image consultant, you want to have a specific type of client that you want to work with. One, you know that there's a need, right? And I know from the image consultant space, it's like, you know, people need to figure out what they're going to wear to this event or how to organize their closet, how to transition from spring to fall, whatever the case may be. But you also understand that outside of getting a client dressed, she needs some inner work, right? So I've made it my business to partner with other women that could pour into my clients where it's not just an outward appearance, right? So it's like, okay, I know Charlotte is going to teach my client how to love on herself and show up authentically, right? So it's like, it makes sense to go ahead and let my client know, okay, hey, we have a wellness coach here. We have a self-love coach. I need to partner you with all these women so that you understand it isn't just about getting dressed. It's about what your inside looks like so that it aligns, right? Because you can go and buy a $500 jacket and still feel like crap on the inside. So it's like,
that is very much, that is a fact.
You can have the most expensive outfit in the room and you get in the car and you're like, oh, breaking down. But everybody gave you 50,000 compliments at the event.
And it doesn't matter, right?
So beautiful, you look so great. And inside,
it does not matter. That's where I'm just like, oh my gosh. So that's the thing too. And some of us don't realize that stuff doesn't matter until it just doesn't matter, right? Like if you are getting compliments and, you know, getting shower compliments all the time, like you have to be very careful not to depend on that, because that's everything external is temporary. And so whatever it is that you are dealing with internally is what you like. Your internal space has to be your safe space. Your internal space has to be where you can retreat to. And that's where your bliss is, your love is, your peace is, your stillness is. And that's where you know, find your security. Right. And so, yes. Oh, I love that. I absolutely love that. Inner and outer alignment for sure.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that inner and outer alignment, it's a game changer, because when I started initially, like over 10 years ago, it was like, oh, okay, you know, you got best dressed in high school, so it's a no-brainer. Like, oh, you can tell people what to wear. This is gonna be easy for you. And then I started getting clients, and I was like, it's a lot of brokenness, right, within my client base. So I can't just speed bump over that. Like, okay, I don't need to worry about how she's feeling internally. Let me just get her dressed and sit on out of the way. It's like, you're doing a disservice to the women. Yeah, it's definitely a disservice, right? Because I could be like, girl, let me just find you some clothes.
Or even worse, try to convince her that that's all that does matter. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just the fact that you do. It's the fact that you do go the step, you know, above and beyond to bring that alignment. Like, I love that. I love that. So, yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. It gets a little heavy sometimes. So I'm learning because I had a live here like 2 weeks ago, and I was learning that, yes, it's great to listen to all my clients' concerns, right? But I can't hold that, right? Because before I was holding it, like, oh my God, how am I going to help her? And then I was like, wait a minute, that's not even my stuff, though.
Oh
like,
my God, that part.
I got my own internal stuff that I'm dealing with.
Okay.
Let me return to sender, okay? Because that's not my stuff.
And not feeling guilty about it.
You learn a lot in the business of showing up.
So yeah, that's a big deal. That's a very big deal. Like, as Black women, I feel like we are so quick to want to you know, be that savior, that nurturer, and that one that comes in, helps it for everybody. And the thing, I feel like what makes my situation, my business hard and difficult sometimes is having to get past that to say, well, who's taking care of you?
Yeah.
Who's coming to save you? Who's regulating you?
Right.
How are you making sure that you are positioning yourself to replenish and release on a daily basis so that you're not carrying things over into the next day or the next week or the next month or, God forbid, the next year? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, you know, because Black women are, or we've grown in this conditioning of the strong Black woman that it's not that we don't need it. It's understanding that we need it. You know what I mean? Like it's being open to say, I want that and I deserve that, because this is the type of life that,
and being
my thing is,
you got
exactly
to be intentional.
My thing is, it's not about saying I need help, because apparently that's just so taboo for Black women, but it's like
so horrible.
But it's about looking at changing your perspective to, I deserve this. You know what I mean? Like, I deserve this.
Yes.
I deserve to, right?
Like, this is normal.
Like, it is a birthright to have a life where you are existing whole. Like, you are, you know, regulating yourself on a high level. Your emotions, you're a master of your emotions. You know you so deeply that you are positioning yourself for success, so that, like, I always use this in one of my my Keep It Real workshop. I always say part of high level self-regulation is knowing that if you get hungry, you may get hangry, and if you get hangry, you may change the whole trajectory of your day. And now you are having undesirable experiences with people. Little things like, I don't know, a fly is irritating the mess out of you. And
you can ignore
everything is now changed because you didn't think you know, ahead of time to say, let me feed me.
You didn't get a snack.
You know what I'm saying? Like, all I had to do was eat something.
I should probably get a snack.
So it's like, it's just being that self-aware, you know what I mean? Like, just being self-aware, and that is something that you deserve as a human being. Like, so it's like the work that
and you made it so simple. That was so simple to understand. Like, you know, you're gonna get hungry, so you probably should get a snack.
And then when you go,
you know, you're gonna get exhausted with life.
You go to a restaurant, you choose to go somewhere to get something to eat. Then now you have to wait.
Slow.
And now you're mad at everybody. The service is automatically horrible because it didn't take 5 minutes for you.
I want to speak to a manager right now.
Now you want to speak to a manager.
Ma'am, you was hungry an hour and a half ago.
You 2 days ago.
Oh my goodness. Oh God.
Right.
But people do that, right? You miss out on it. And you know, Tanika mentioned that we go with the mindset of that we want to save everybody. And in reality,
it's impossible.
That, right? That's not something good for you to do. Like, as Shamir added, releasing the concept that life has to be extremely hard. Life can be so simple if you create pockets of it, right? Like, life is going to show up. We get that. Life is going to throw you some curveballs. But how you adjust, how you pivot, how your mindset is set up to be like, okay, this isn't going as planned, but it could be way worse, right? It could be worse. That's
so
how
for me,
I'm like,
whenever and I get that it could be worse. Like I get that, but the way that I approach turbulence in my life is, okay, what do I need to learn from this? Because I do feel like the turbulence teaches you how to show up for yourself in another way, and whenever you experience that again, it's like, you know, your way home now. you know how to return back to yourself. You know
Right.
how to center, ground, and nurture yourself. You know how to replenish yourself. You know how to be secure in that turbulence. And so for me, I'm actively looking for what is the lesson, because life teaches you. It's like life tests you first, and then you get the lesson after, you know, and that's just how it is. And so you get that test. What is my lesson? And then now you're in a position to not only have gratitude that it could be worse, but now you are extracting value from this situation, because now you've changed completely now. Because now you have more value, you have more insight on yourself than you did before. So, okay, whenever I'm experiencing this, and when I'm gonna just say this is one of the things that have helped me so much in my journey when I face turbulence, is for me, I have to be 100% honest with myself about what I am experiencing in that turbulence. Because sometimes we try to feel like, you know what, everything's going to work out, everything's going to be good, but you still have to acknowledge that you're not okay right now.
How it made you feel.
It's great to have that positive outlook, but you still have to acknowledge what you are feeling in that moment. And I used to feel like if I acknowledge that, or if I admitted that I'm scared right now, or I'm frustrated, I'm angry right now, that it would in some way change the fact that I have a positive outlook. But it doesn't. You're leaning into what it is that you feel.
It doesn't.
You're leaning into the situation. You're now positioning yourself to extract value. Because once you lean into it, you have a better opportunity now to explore yourself in it. And now when you do that, you're growing as a person, you're growing as a you, because there's no other you out there. And so when you the important part. So the destination is set. The journey is what's a mystery. We have to be able to accept the journey for what it is, because the destination is already set. I know for a fact what my destination looks like. And so there's nothing about that that's going to change. However, my journey, it's not, I don't know what to expect all the time. You know what I mean? So I have to be able to. Right. And so just like life, just like myself, I have to be willing to embrace life the same way I embrace myself. And so when life does get to life, and you have to be able to know what returning home looks like for you. And that's why at the Center Me House, we help you learn how to return home to your highest self, because it is absolutely unrealistic to think that the only possible good life is a life where you don't experience anger, the life where you don't experience pain, the life where you don't experience, that's not real, that's right? Not real. So how are you showing up for yourself in those moments? And that's, I feel like, is like the most beautiful thing about what it is that I do for Black women at the Center Me House.
Yeah, which is really awesome. Like, you're doing huge work. Tanika shared it in the comments. She said the people will really cuss you out when you put yourself first. And Dr. Thomas actually responded, and then play victim, because it's your right to put yourself first. Shamir said, I had to learn to sit my ego to the side so I could feel my emotions. I mean, valid. Because people do try to guilt trip you about taking time for yourself. And you're like,
there's going to come a time in your life, there's going to come a time in your journey of learning yourself and just building up that inner authority and confidence in yourself, and just knowing, like, I put me first, and that's just that. That's how this universe is governed, right? That when you are presented with people who don't have that same governance over themselves, that you're able to address that in a way that's healthy for both of you, right? It doesn't have to be how dare he or she try to make me feel this way. It's more so like, this may be difficult for you to understand, or, I'm just going to acknowledge the elephant in the room here. What about me putting myself first upsets you so much? If you don't want to have that conversation, that's fine. Yeah. But I'm not going to allow you to make me feel any type of way about it's, or better yet, it's not my responsibility to be the version of me that you created. I have to be
right.
I'm not responsible for the Charlotte that you want. I'm responsible for the Charlotte that I want.
Right.
I just feel like the more you grow into your journey, like for me, handling situations like that is just like, I don't know. It's literally, like, it comes and it goes. Like for me, I don't take it personally. I don't feel no type of way about it because I understand that you operate in a different way than I do. And so how can I expect you to understand something that you don't even do for yourself? Exactly. You know what I'm saying? The only reason that you feel this way is because you don't do that for yourself. Otherwise, you would respect it.
And you need to
That's not my responsibility. You know what I'm saying?
You're like, if you want me to help you,
the thing, look, and the thing is for me, and I wanted to address the other comment too. And
I think we lost Charlotte. She'll come back in. Hold on. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Thanks for all the engagement. Hi, beautiful daughter. Let me try to get Charlotte back in, guys. Are you guys enjoying the conversation? Let me know. Okay, she's all right. Okay, you're back.
But I wanted to also address the comment on ego. I can't remember what it was. I believe she said something along the lines.
Yeah, she said she had to sit her ego to the side to actually
right. So okay, I want and this is something that I came to later in my journey, much later in my journey. My ego is the key component at improving my self-awareness. My ego is not to be feared. It's not to be shunned. It's not to be embarrassed, ashamed of. My ego is the key component in allowing me to improve my self-awareness. And the reason I say that is because when you think about ego, I mean, real ego, ego isn't in alignment with this world. Who you are is not of this world. So if you're feeling some type of way about something, that's ego, right? But who you are, your spirit, is who gets to observe the ego and learn from it. Now, however that process works for you, for me, it's more about, okay, I had to incorporate a lot of stillness in my life so that my ego wasn't the one reacting and I was the one responding. So I had to start taking time from being triggered and responding and really expand that so that I could sit with myself and really observe myself in these emotions. So your ego is who is experiencing the imposter syndrome or the shame, the embarrassment, the guilt, the frustration. Your ego is who's feeling all of that, because at the end of the day, all of this stuff is external. Your ego is going to respond to the external things. Your internal environment, your internal space is governed by your spirit. And that's who you are, right? That's that intelligence that operates everything. And so for me, the way that and the reason I look at it this way is because I have to be able to meet all of who I am with love, ego included. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my ego isn't something that
Mm-hmm.
I act on, or I try not to. I'm human, but
Right.
I learn the most about
Mm-hmm.
myself from the responses of my ego, especially if it's just like a thought, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes we'll ask ourselves questions
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, who does he think he is, or why do they do that to me, or, you know,
Yeah.
any question with a me in it. That's the ego question. You know, I like to call those
Yeah.
prevention questions. But purpose questions are the questions that are really address who you are. Like, you know, why did that trigger me? How many emotions am I
Yeah.
experiencing? Is this emotion in alignment with this experience, or how do I show up for myself to better next time? Like, just for me, ego is something that when you learn to embrace it and accept you, because it's you,
Mm-hmm.
you are going to learn so much
Right. It's
more
you.
about yourself, because now you are taking self-acceptance to another level. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
That's
so
so good.
that's what I wanted to say about that. So it's just
That's
like, so I guess
good.
what I'm saying is you don't have to sit the ego to the side. Just, you know, have that conversation, you know, with yourself. You know, why do I feel this way?
Yeah.
Why do I feel like if I showed, you know, what I'm really feeling, that
Right.
somebody's going to think less of me, or somebody's going to think, you know, why do I say I'm okay when I'm not, you know, because we know that that's ego. You're protecting something. Are you not in a safe space where you and it's
Right.
okay if you're saying you're okay because you don't feel like you're in a safe space, but understand too that compartmentalization can have, it's a double-edged sword. It can help you if you use it correctly, but if you are, you
Yeah.
know,
Or it can
right,
definitely
if you're
hinder you.
constantly, you know, shelving those feelings and not addressing them later on in a safe space that's comfortable, you know, and safe for you and secure for you, then, you know, you have a whole nother problem
Yeah.
that you're dealing with. So yeah, that's what
Yeah.
that's my TED talk on that.
Yeah. That was good though. Like that was a good full-on explanation of how to
It
really look
is.
at it. It's all about the perspective. So when I first reached out to you to invite you to be a part of the Women of Impact series, what was your initial thought?
I was honored, man, because I'm like, wow, like I was so honored to be in this space with you, because, you know, in this business, it's like I want to I want to believe that I'm doing good. I want to believe that I'm helping my sisters in the
Yeah.
best way that I possibly can. And so when you reached out to me, it was
Right.
just one of those times where you feel like, okay, I must be doing something right. So so I am deeply appreciative.
Okay, so I
Yes,
am doing
I'm
the right
deeply
things out
appreciative,
here.
because you need that, as you have to, you know, especially when you're not surrounded by entrepreneurs. Like you sometimes you need
Right.
that to be like, okay, all right, good, all right, this journey's going like it's supposed to.
Yeah.
So, you know, that was really, I
I
really,
can
really
keep going.
appreciate
I
that.
can keep going.
Absolutely. Yes, thank you so much for this opportunity.
Yeah. Of course, like I love when you spoke at at my brother's brunch, right? So I was like, not only is she telling you how to navigate the mental health space, she's showing you how to navigate yourself. Because we push past that. We try to figure out everybody else around us, why this person acts like that, what's triggering them. And then you have to sit and be like, but what about me? Like, what is
Yeah.
my trigger points, right? What is it that makes me feel inadequate when I feel inadequate? What is it that really excites me and not on a surface level? So when you spoke last year, September, I stayed connected because I was like, there's something in her that I definitely need and I want to stay
Thank you
plugged
so
in,
much.
right? So at any moment when I'm like, you know what, I don't know what's going on today, but hold up, let me see. Let me go back to my notes from last year when we had the monthly meetings on Daniel's note and see what Charlotte told me, because I need one of those notes that she gave me. Like I need that right now, this moment. because I need a little dose of something to tell me that, Paula, it's okay to feel how you feel right now, and be okay with that,
it,
right? Don't feel bad because you're feeling XYZ. So that's what I was like, ooh, let me invite her to the stage, because I don't want to be selfish and keep you to myself, right? I mean, I could, but I need to share you with everyone in my community, because women that are really making an impact, I don't think we get enough light or flowers or validation, right? That we should have aimlessly, right? So it's nothing for me to be like, let me share a stage with Charlotte, because she's not just helping me, she's helping women within her community. But if I share it with my community, someone else is going to share it somewhere else. So it's like a virus, but a positive virus, right? So that was the goal when I thought to invite you. Love you, Mom. Mama said, thanks for sharing and caring. Being authentic. So my mom is so awesome. Like, you don't have a mom like Paula Edwards, bruh. I'll give you her for 5 minutes only. But after that, you gotta give her back.
I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Honestly, yes, she's really awesome. She gives really good hugs too. So if you,
yeah, she does.
If you around the way.
You be like, okay,
all right. I love it.
Yeah. So definitely embrace her. How do you feel that you're showing up within your community specifically?
So, I am changing gears a little bit. This year so far, I've been at Albany State University. I did a workshop with them last month. I did a workshop yesterday at North Carolina A&T, and
you were at my daughter's school yesterday?
Why wasn't she in the building?
I wish I had known. I would have told her to go and be in position. I didn't know.
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
But yes, I was there. We had a workshop. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. So I have been at a few universities to teach emotional wellness. And I was just like, okay, how do I do this and be even more in the community? And so I started to reach out to other organizations, including Alpha Kappa Alpha, Sorority Incorporated.
Yes. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Listen, I'm gonna get on her to be like, what's going on? We have a meeting on Monday.
She emailed me back. So hopefully there'll be some things in the works there. But I'm gonna be the keynote speaker for a chapter in Lumberton in May, and then I have another chapter in Warren County who is considering me for a class and a retreat, and so.
Awesome.
That's where I'm at right now. I'm trying to make these connections with organizations that are, primarily of, Black women who serve Black women and serve the community. It's more so like, you're serving the community, but who's serving you? And so I come in as that resource. And so, but this year, because I wanted to change things and do more work with women professionals, entrepreneurs, house managers. And the reason I say house managers instead of stay-at-home mom is because that is a job, and we have to acknowledge it as such.
Right.
And so,
exactly.
But the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm trying to switch. I'm trying to do what I feel like is going to get me closer to what my end goal is. And that is the Center Me House Self-Love Resort. So that's why we are going to start doing retreats this year. We have a retreat coming up in May. I'm actually about to start planning the one that comes after that, because registration for the one in May ends the end of this month. And so I'm going to be looking for a new location for the next one. And then planning for that. And so what I want to do is build up the Center Me House members so that we're meeting every week for check-ins, whether it be, journaling, how are you feeling, and really practicing. Because it's one thing to meet up and say, oh, I'm good. But it's another thing to say, hey, bring out your Center Me Wheel of Emotions. I want you to look and see which one are you, feeling right now, and let's talk about that. So it's just a different way of learning how to change your language, learning how to change your environment, learning how to change your vision. And so meeting up every week to do those things, also every month for Sister Circle, which this month, not this month, April, our Sister Circle is going to be open to the public. So you don't have to be a Center Me House member to attend. We're going to be in Raleigh. I'm just going to get an Airbnb. We're going to have a gathering of sisterhood, love. We're going to be focusing on self-awareness. So you're going to be getting guided meditation. We'll have some food. We're going to be doing group coaching. So it's just going to be that gathering of love, balance, and we're just going to be teaching you more about how to improve your self-awareness. And then also a class every month. Yeah, so awesome. And our members are also going to benefit from a class every month as well. So whether it be virtually or if you want to come in person, you'll be able to get that class. And the class that I'm going to be planning for next month is going to be the Preservation of Self class, which I'm so excited about. And so
I'm so excited. So I don't even have to ask the next question, because my next question was like, how can PE support you? But first, before I even share that, I need to be obedient, right? Because when I heard you speaking about you having the speaking engagement that's coming up, and of course you partner with the illustrious Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, God said you need to style Charlotte for her next speaking engagement. So I'm going to be obedient, right?
Okay.
And we'll talk offline so that I can style you for your next speaking engagement, the one that's in May. So I'll have more than enough time, right? So I want to be able to be obedient and bless you in that way. And I love that you answered the question of how I can show up for you, because I wanted to make sure everyone that I share the stage with, there has to be something that I can do to help.
Thank you.
So once you get your graphic for your retreat that's coming up, and this April event, I definitely need to be there. So share it with me so I can share it with my community. And I'll also share it in my newsletter. Yay! So it can be out to my subscribers. I don't have 100,000.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Yes. So I'm going to be sending it out to my subscribers tonight. And then once I send it out, then I'll send you the graphic and so the Center Me House Sister Circle in April is going to be so bomb. I can't wait. And so I'm just taking it easy. The biggest thing that I've learned in my journey so far in entrepreneurship, since I changed my business, because before the Center Me House, because like you said, I had to give God a sold out. Yes, I had to start really being obedient in what it was I knew that I was mentioned. What I was purposed to do. That's when I started doing building up the Center Me House. And so it's been a year, and the biggest thing that I've learned, well, it'll be a year next month, so that's why the Sister Circle is going to be an open one. So we're excited. And the biggest thing that I've learned is patience in this journey, because for me it's like I'm so passionate about it, and I hate to make this comparison, but it's the only one that feels right now. But I used to know this guy. I used to work with this guy. He's a Jehovah's Witness. And I asked him, I said, so what's with the door knocking and stuff? Like, what's with going to the doors, people's houses? And he said, and it was the most powerful thing I ever heard. He was like, if you knew something could change someone's life tremendously in the most incredible way, and you were really excited about it, and you had all of this enthusiasm, what would you do with it? And I was like, I would share it. And he was like, exactly.
Yeah.
And so for me, I had that energy when I started Center Me. I'm like, oh yes, everybody's gonna love this, and this is great, and everybody needs to know. But in this journey, I have had to learn so much about myself and really build who I am as a self-love coach, learn more about what I want to represent as a self-love coach, because that took some time too. Like, I've had people say, oh, well, Charlotte, you should, and honestly, this is I didn't take it personally or anything like that, because this was just a lesson that I had to learn how to be confident in who I truly am. And so, you know, I've had people tell me, oh, you should wear makeup, or you should wear at least some type of designer pieces, or, you know, brands or something. And I was just like, you know, that's taking me away from who I am. And there was pressure at one point where I felt like, okay, would that change things tremendously for me? And I had to really learn what being a self-love coach was for me. And I feel like this process, when I look back, I'm just so thankful, so grateful to have made it this far, and that God has taken time on me in this way, like really been very intentional in this way. Like I am learning so much about myself. And I don't know if I would have been able to serve my sisters as well as I can now than when I first started. So, you know, it's patience is the biggest thing that I've been learning in this journey.
Yep. Yeah, patience and knowing that we're always evolving. My mom said, I've learned that my feelings are valid because they're mine. However, they're not always facts.
That's a good one, because that's a good one, because here's what I have to say about that. Your emotions are 100% real. They are real experiences of the body. But being able to tell whether this emotion is stimulated from a thought or a present experience is absolutely necessary, because our thoughts can also stimulate emotions. And so the problem with that is you could literally be laying in the bed and thinking about something traumatic, and your body is having a traumatic experience. Your heart rate is speeding up, your blood level, your cortisol hormone is being released into your bloodstream. And so now it's going to take you forever to go to sleep, because your body is in fight or flight mode because of what you're thinking. You know what I mean? And so that's one of the things that I did in my workshop yesterday. We did an activity called, it looks like true or false, but it's called thought or feeling. And we have to recognize, is this a thought or is this a true feeling? And so I love that, because what you're feeling is absolutely a real thing. Your body keeps the score, but is that something that is coming from a thought? Is it coming from, you know, worry? Is it coming from, you know, past traumatic experiences? Is this a, you know, like exactly the source? And so that's where you can decipher whether or not this is something that you can explore in this way to the right, or this way into the left where there's a dead end. I'm like, okay, I gotta release this, because this is not, you know, it's not something that I'm experiencing right now. You want to be as present as possible in this life. And so I love that comment.
Yeah, definitely. And Erica, have a great day, Mom. My mom's hopping off. Erica said, my issue is I think my feelings are facts. I have to change my mindset. Well, Erica, luckily, Charlotte just shared some insight about your feelings definitely being facts and being valid. So, like, of course, you can plug into Charlotte's event next month, so you can actually look. Come to the event if you're close by, because I'm thinking about driving down. Look, I'll put my sister in the car. We'll drive down, because Raleigh's not that far away. Tosh said, you can validate your feelings, but also check where the source is. Yes. See, look, sis is on. She's in there.
The source is what it is. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's so beautiful when you learn how to embrace yourself in that way, where you're like, okay, that's what I feel, but where is it coming from? You know what I mean? And there's this poem, or this piece by Rumi, Rumi, and it's called Guest House. It's one of my favorites. And he's I don't know, some 18th, 17th century Turkish philosopher. But
like, I don't really know.
But he shared something really good, and it's called The Guest House, and it basically talks about why you should embrace all of you, like, embrace those negative feelings or negative thoughts, and embrace those difficult feelings, embrace everything, because like I said before, when you learn how to extract value in those times, like, where is it coming from? Why am I feeling this? What am I feeling? How many emotions am I feeling? Asking yourself purpose questions to really start that investigation, that exploration process. You're going to come out of that with something that you didn't have before. And in a nutshell, that's what he's saying. And so it's just really beautiful when you get to the point in your life where you really just love yourself unconditionally, love all of what you're feeling, love all of you, right?
All parts
exactly.
Of
you. So okay, good.
The good, the bad, the indifferent, the I don't really know who I am today. Yeah.
Right. You have to, because I'm telling you, my 4-year-old, she be having me questioning things.
I'm telling you, because some days I'll be like, I don't know who I am. I don't even know who I want to be today. And I think in those days is really when I kind of like pull back and be like, you know what? Don't go with this. I don't know, or I'm feeling the bad, and then I'm treating other people bad based on how I feel. That's not fair to other people. You know what I'm saying? But oftentimes you do that. You be like, I gotta add it.
So, you're absolutely right. But the thing is, that's a symptom. So what is it a symptom of? You know what I mean? My first thought when you said that was overstimulation. And that's only because that's my symptom when I'm being overstimulated. Like when I know that it's been a while since I've been still, and I've been like constantly absorbing information, whether it be via social media, emails, phone calls, that's when I start getting like, and the reason why I know that is for me, I don't know that is for you, but for me, I know that that's my symptom, because when I'm seeing what everybody else is doing and listening to everybody else talk about their life and watching everything else, and I'm just like drifting further and further away from what it is that I'm doing, what it is that I'm focusing on, and right. And so, and that's why it's so easy to say, I don't know who I am today. I don't know what I want to do.
Yes.
I mean, cause right, and so for me, that's one of my cues. It's time to return home. It's time to ground. It's time to center. So I mean, but
it's time to.
And it took me leaning into that and really accepting that to even know that that was a symptom of something. You know what I mean? It's not like I just woke up and didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
That's just me not being, not spending that quality time with myself as consistently as I needed to in order to not get to that point. Again, I know what my symptoms are when I'm on E, when I need time, when I've stretched myself too thin. Like, I know those symptoms. And so because of that, I've been able to work myself backwards in figuring out, okay, so what are the precursors to that? And figuring out how to regulate. But again, we're human.
Yeah,
exactly.
Before you get there,
it's going to happen though. That's why it's just so crucial that you know your way home.
My mom is still here, but she's dropping some good stuff, guys. She said, move a muscle, change a thought. Yep, getting centered with self, love a God of your understanding, and allow a power that's greater than you to drive you.
Yes.
Laughter is great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mom.
I'm gonna put my mom on live one day.
Yes.
I'm gonna share my mom.
You know what? So because she has, experience, life experience. See, for me, I like to go all the way around the world when I talk. Like when I want to iron out every wrinkle, every detail. And it's just the way that she's always able to come in and say, okay, well, this is what she's saying.
Lay the foot okay, so let me give you the cliff notes, okay?
I love it. I want to be like Mom when I grow up.
I'd be like, Mom, bring me back. Just bring me back, Mom, please. And thank you. Just bring me right back. Because she will bring you back. And I love that we had time. Listen, I love that we had time today. Guys, if y'all have any questions for Charlotte or myself, make sure you drop them in the chat. understand that no question is a silly question unless you don't ask it, right? So ask your questions. You have time. As soon as Charlotte shares the information about her event, I'm going to share with you guys so we can all pull up and support her in a mighty way. Charlotte, is there anything you want to share with everyone before we wrap up today?
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
Go ahead, sis.
One of the things that I have been really working on recently in my life and in this juncture in my life is really seeing myself and trying to see myself in a deeper way than I've seen myself before. My affirmations have become so essential in this process. Journaling has been very essential in this process, but I have to tell you that like your journey is ongoing. You're never going to reach a place where you're going to feel like I've made it. This is it. You know, there's no more growth. There's no more healing to be done. That's never going to happen. But once you get into acceptance of these cycles that you're going to experience in your life, life will be easier for you to navigate. And I'm at this juncture right now where I'm like, I'm trying not to get emotional.
It's okay. Look, we're all family here.
I love myself unconditionally, and what I'm doing right now with, you know, the level of healing that I'm experiencing right now, is like, there's no way I would have been able to do this a few years ago. There's no way I would have been able to challenge myself to see myself this way. And I just want you all to know that when you learn to love yourself, when you are loving yourself, actively loving yourself, you're going to navigate life seeing so much beauty, seeing so much love, seeing so much peace and joy that you, and I mean in the little things, in the little things, because there's some things that are going to hit you and you're going to think that they're so big, but because you are practicing seeing and appreciating and loving the little things, celebrating yourself, and just always exploring yourself, there are going to be things that these things that may have come and they may look super big, they're just going to be so much more easier, I promise you. When I look back, there's just, I'm so grateful for where I am, because I love myself. I love myself.
It's okay.
And I'm just grateful for this journey. I want you all to really just take the time to just tell yourself, I love myself every day. Say, I love myself. I love myself unconditionally. I love myself unapologetically. I love myself when I'm tired. I love myself when I'm frustrated. I love myself when I'm angry. I love myself when I am at peace. I just love myself. And so when you continue to journey in this life, you're going to be presented with things that may seem like, you know, they're really bad, or they may seem really difficult. But I'm telling you, the love of self is going to carry you through that. you know, I I used to never feel like I could, in my previous job, I never feel like I could guarantee anything. It is such a relief to be able to say, I guarantee you, just practice loving yourself, and your life is going to change dramatically. It's going to change. You are going to tap into what your vessel is truly created for, and that is expansion. And that is expansion.
Mm.
Love, love, love yourself. And I'm not speaking from a space of, be happy with you, because happiness is a temporary feeling. I'm speaking to you from presence to presence. Love yourself unconditionally, and you will expand, and you will evolve, and you will continue to show up in the way that God sees you. So, I love you.
That's so good.
And I have it to give. Every time I am in front of Black women, it's important to me to communicate that I love you, because you're worthy of love, and because I have love to give. It took me learning how to love myself in the way that I do to see that I have it to give. And I just want that for Black women. I want that for everyone, every Black woman that I come in contact with. I want that for you. I pray that for you. And thank you for sharing space with us today.
Yeah. That was so good, Charlotte.
I just I was emotional.
So good.
Just when I say emotional, like I was very much full of gratitude. That's why you said, you asked me, what did I feel when you asked me to come here? And it's an honor. It's an honor. I can't describe it in any other way, because I spent, most of my life, being abused, being, shrinking myself. And when I started learning how to love myself, and then taking that a step further, every time that I get an opportunity to, God just shows me, like, this is what it's for. It's like being able to be inspired and then inspire. It's amazing. I'm always like this after I do a workshop, so.
Oh my God. But it's fun. Listen, you already know my family. We're already like high strung emotional people. So I'm just like eating it up, like, oh my God, this is so perfect. Like, the perfect way to end the live. And I think it's perfectly okay to be emotional, right? It's perfectly okay to love on yourself more than you do on yesterday, right? Do a little extra on today. And it's okay, because once you understand how to love yourself, you know that it's perfectly fine to love someone else. Too many times I walk around to see other Black women walking around with their face balled up, and I'm like, what is wrong with her? Like, what? She having a bad day? Like, what? Girl, it's okay to smile and be joyful.
Being able to find that, for some women, that's why I'm always just in this really, emotional space after I do a workshop, because I'm just like, man, that was me a few years ago, not knowing what to do with my emotions, not knowing, how to feel them, not knowing what to do with them, but how to feel them. And, when God positions me in that way, I just get so, grateful. Like, all I want to do is serve, because I know that what I'm doing is because it's changed my life. I'm living proof that it works. So whenever I'm, every time I come down off of that, I'm always just like, God did it again. Put me in a room. And, it's just, and all I had to do was trust myself. So.
All you had to do was show up. God will do the rest.
So, I think.
He will blow your mind if you allow him to. That's what I always tell people. I said, if you just be obedient and do whatever it is that God is dropping in your mind that you're supposed to do, in your mind and your heart, right? Because they both have to align. They got to align, which is why you always have to check your heart posture. Like, why are you doing the things that you're doing? Are you doing this for glorification of people? Or are you doing this because God told you to do this? And God is allowing you to use your gifts to go into rooms that you wouldn't be in if you
because I
weren't
didn't graduate from college.
So, like,
you know, and to be teaching at a university, you know, and obviously
at university, they need it on these campuses. Like, these young women on college campus need it so badly. That's why I'm glad to know that you're doing this. Because they're struggling.
It's the way that they talk to me, the way that they look at me. Like, it's because I mean, women, like, they're all women, but I have faculty, staff, students that come to these events. And it's just like, you can tell that, honestly, when I show up and do these events and these classes and these workshops and stuff, it's like I always pray beforehand. I'm just like, God, it's time. It's time to use me. However you want to use me. Let me say what needs to be heard. Let me see what needs to be revealed. And I'll do what I'm supposed to do. And so when I come off of that, it's like, all right, I'll keep doing it. Like,
yeah.
All right.
Like, okay, I'm ready. I'll be back next week.
So it's just, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't want to take it there. It's just that, that's why I was like, let's just do it before noon, because maybe I won't be too emotional, but I just know how I am after I do events, because
oh my God.
Because it's just, I feel like I've always known that I wanted to teach. I've always known that this is what I wanted to do in my life. It just wasn't until I learned to love myself that I realized what I wanted to teach.
Yeah. Well, thanks for loving on yourself.
Girl,
thanks for loving on me. Thanks for pouring into the community today. Look. Thank you for so many things this morning.
Thank you.
We'll be needing this. Like, listen, I'm going to be sprinkling Center Me Sis in all the things within PE. Like, I'm excited to see how the partnership and relationship will grow over the next couple of months. Like, I have so many things that I want to do within PE, and I'm just building up my community.
That the other night when you were saying how you wanted to expand it into an agency, I was like, I know that's right, girl. You better be thinking big. Like, yes. I love to hear that.
Listen, because if you think about it, it's like it's more than delegation, right? Like, I want to be able to get people aligned. Like, you have a gift to be an image consultant. You love what you do, but you just need a little guidance. Let me bring you into PE Image Consultant so you can be a part of this agency. So it's not just me being the face of my brand. It's like, no, if I'm booked with a client, I can get you with such and such person, and she can help you with the same level of excellence that I would do. Like, that's the goal.
I love to hear that.
You know what I'm saying? And community is so important. And I love that I want to build my community with women that look like me. There's room at the table.
Especially when you're the one building it.
Once you shift your mindset, exactly.
We can extend this thing. However, it's ours. So
yep.
So that means we can do whatever we want with this.
So I'm excited. I'm super excited. Exactly. So I'm excited. Some more to come. Don't forget to send me the information. Tasha already said we're coming. She confirmed that we'll be there. Look, and I'm probably going to bring some friends. I'll probably bring Kalia, depending on what day it is. But thanks for sharing the stage with me today. And I'm definitely going to tag you in the live so you'll be able to see it. And everybody else that's catching the playback because you came late, it's okay. We're going to share it and we're going to save it. So you'll be okay. Okay, so more to come. Thank you so very much. And thank you guys for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much.
Talk soon, guys. You